Returning to university military training, I let my roommate marry the instructor. During university military training, the instructor assigned to our class was a handsome guy, his classmates all liked him, and his roommate even said she wouldn't marry anyone but him. I kindly reminded my roommate that the instructor was not on equal footing with us, and that we didn't know him at all. But she slapped me hard across the face. "You Tao, why are you so nosy?" My classmates mocked me. "You're just pretending to be high and mighty. Aren't you just jealous that Yao Yao is prettier than you and more popular with the instructor?" Ignoring their sarcasm, I insisted on keeping my roommate away from the instructor. Unexpectedly, after the military training ended, the instructor and another student got together. My roommate blamed me for ruining her marriage and pushed me off the rooftop. The parents called the police, but the classmates said they knew nothing about it. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day my roommate fell for the instructor. My roommate shook off my hand. "You Tao, what do you mean by this? What did the instructor do to offend you? How can you talk about him like that?" This time, I smiled brightly. "It's nothing, I was just joking." Lin Yaoyao looked at me suspiciously, then said angrily, "The instructor is so nice, why would you make such a joke?" I twitched my lips. "In my past life, I only said you can know a person's face but not their heart," and Lin Yaoyao thought I was talking badly about the instructor. Even though I tried to smooth things over later, Lin Yaoyao still said that I was slandering the instructor, and even went to the instructor to complain. Fortunately, the instructor wasn't there at the time, and Lin Yaoyao forgot about it later. Otherwise I would definitely have been given a hard time during military training. "I'm sorry, I went too far with my joke," I said slowly. "What's the use of apologizing to me?" Lin Yaoyao became even more arrogant when she saw my tone soften. "You should go apologize to the instructor." Okay, I'll go apologize to him right away, then I finished speaking and immediately went out the door, not giving Lin Yaoyao a chance to follow me. I could never apologize to the instructor. I only agreed to Lin Yaoyao's request to appease her. I remember when we first moved into the dorm in my past life, we talked about our views on love, and someone mentioned that saying that was circulating online: falling in love with a teacher in school, falling in love with an instructor during military training, falling in love with a doctor when seeing a doctor. Before I could even complain, Lin Yaoyao said longingly, "How romantic, to turn away from worldly conventions and abandon the world for love. I also hope to have such a love." At that time, I thought she had just read too many novels and was full of fantasies about love. I later found out she was serious. She was even willing to do anything for this love, even kill someone early in the morning. The sun wasn't strong, but there were many mosquitoes. I stayed in the shade of the tree for a while, and after getting bitten more than a dozen times, I went back to my dormitory. Before I even opened the door, I could hear people talking inside. "The instructor is so handsome." "Yeah, I'm sure. It's a shame he wouldn't be interested in someone like me. Only Yao Yao has that kind of looks." "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" Lin Yaoyao's voice was sweet and shy. "What's there to be afraid of?" I heard my roommate, Chin Shui, say, "My cousin started dating the drill instructor during military training last year, and she's so happy now." I pursed my lips. "In my past life, I made my first mistake here," I directly retorted. "It's against the rules for military training instructors to date students," which resulted in Lin Yaoyao holding a grudge and my roommates complaining. This time, I simply waited quietly outside the door until the romantic love story was finished and the morning training was about to begin. Before knocking on the door, their discussion was over, so I closed the door and put on my military training uniform. "Where's my sunscreen?" I suddenly realized that the sunscreen I had placed on the table was gone. It was the same in my past life. On the first day of military training, my sunscreen disappeared without a trace. Later I found out that Lin Yaoyao had secretly taken it. When I complained about my sunburn, she complained to the instructor that some girls are delicate and even wear sunscreen during military training, which resulted in all the girls in the class being punished by standing at attention for an hour, while I was ostracized by my classmates. As a result, after Lin Yaoyao pushed me off the rooftop, not a single person came out to speak up for me. "Has anyone seen my sunscreen?" I asked, raising my voice as I scanned everyone in the dorm. Lin Yaoyao didn't even turn her head. "Who would take your cheap stuff? Maybe you just left it lying around and forgot." I walked straight to Lin Yaoyao's cabinet. I only found out after I was pushed off the rooftop in my previous life that Lin Yaoyao had a habit of stealing other people's things. "What are you doing?" Lin Yaoyao screamed and rushed over to stop me, but I had already opened her cabinet door. My sunscreen was placed in the most conspicuous position, next to my pearl hair tie that had gone missing last week. The dormitory fell silent instantly. Lin Yaoyao's face flushed red. "This isn't yours. I bought it myself." I picked up the sunscreen and pointed to the mark I'd made with nail polish on the bottom. "This is a mark I made so I wouldn't get it mixed up with others." I then picked up the hair tie. "There's a little pearl missing from this one. It's the one I lost last week." Lin Yaoyao's lips trembled, and a familiar Ruthless glint flashed in her eyes before she killed me in my past life. She looked at me with the same eyes. I might have accidentally taken the wrong one. Her voice suddenly softened, and her eyes reddened. Peach, I'm sorry. I've been too busy lately, and I might have mixed up your things with mine. My lips curved into a smile. If it were my naive self from my past life, I might have softened and forgiven her, but now I know that this was just her performance. It's okay, I said calmly. Just remember to ask before using other people's things next time. I took the sunscreen back without saying much. I neither swallowed my anger like I did in my past life, nor did I completely break off relations. This delicate balance is something I must master after my rebirth. I cannot be too weak to be bullied by her, nor can I be too tough to provoke her extreme retaliation. I don't want to repeat the same mistake. The whistle blew to signal the start of military training, and we hurriedly ran to the playground under the blazing sun. I was so glad I had found sunscreen again. In my past life, I suffered from sunburn, and my skin peeled off, causing me great pain. I was even mocked by Lin Yao for looking like a lizard that sheds its skin. Attention, a loud voice rang out, and our instructors appeared. Zhao Gang, the object of Lin Yao's mad infatuation in my past life, was also an accomplice who indirectly caused my death. He was about 1.8 meters tall, with dark skin and regular features, and indeed had a certain heroic air unique to soldiers. When his gaze swept across the line, many girls blushed, including Lin Yao next to me. Training officially begins today, but there's one more thing you need to know. In my team, there is only obedience. Understand? Zhao Gang's voice was firm and powerful. Understood. The students answered in unison. The sound is too soft. I can't hear it. Understood. This time the voice was deafening. Zhao Gang nodded in satisfaction and began to explain the basic requirements of military training. I noticed that his gaze lingered on Lin Yao several times, just as it had in my previous life. Lin Yao's exquisite makeup certainly stood out among the barefaced military training team. Now, we need to choose a temporary class monitor to help me manage the class. Zhao Gang's words made my heart tighten. In his past life, he specifically chose me because I had the most perfect military posture. This honor drove Lin Yao insane with jealousy, and she started targeting me from then on. People whispered among themselves, but no one stepped forward. At this moment, Chen Shui suddenly raised her hand. I recommend you Tao. Her college entrance exam score was the highest in our class, Chen Shui added, explaining her reasoning for recommending me. Several classmates chimed in, and my heart raced. This was not what I had expected. In my past life, Zhao Gang directly chose me, so how did it become a classmate's recommendation this time? Zhao Gang looked at me. You Tao, step forward. I steeled myself and stepped out of the line, my mind racing. I had to find a way to get rid of this task, but I couldn't make it seem too obvious. Reporting to the instructor, I might not be suitable, I said softly. Why? Zhao Gang frowned. On a sudden impulse, I clutched my stomach and squatted down, saying, my stomach hurts so much. This wasn't entirely fake. I genuinely felt stomach cramps due to nervousness. Zhao Gang's expression changed from stern to concerned. What's wrong? Did you eat something bad? I nodded weakly. It might be the milk I drank this morning. Chen Shui, help her to the infirmary, Zhao Gang ordered, then scan the group. Who else is willing to be the temporary squad leader? Me, instructor, I can. Lin Yao eagerly raised her hand, her voice sickeningly sweet. Zhao Gang looked her over a few times and nodded. Okay, you're the one. Everyone else, stand at attention. Let's begin training. Chen Shui helped me walk towards the infirmary, and after leaving the training ground, I breathed a sigh of relief. You all right? Chen Shui asked worriedly. I'm much better. It's probably just acute gastritis. I forced a smile. It's such a pity. You could have been the class monitor, Chen Shui said regretfully. I shook my head. Lin Yao is more suitable, but in my heart, I thought, this is exactly the result I wanted. I spent the morning lying in the infirmary, thus successfully avoiding the most arduous morning training. The doctor diagnosed me with mild gastroenteritis, prescribed some medication, and sent me home. I strolled back to the playground, just in time for the midday dismissal. Lin Yao walked confidently at the front of the group, already acting as if she were the class monitor. Seeing me, she proudly raised her chin. You Tao, are you feeling better? The instructor asked me to keep track of attendance, so you're absent this morning. In my past life, I would have argued that the instructor had sent me to the infirmary, but this time, I just nodded. Yeah, it's my duty. Got it. Squad leader, I deliberately emphasized the last two words, seeing a satisfied smile on her face. At lunchtime, Lin Yao deliberately sat near Zhao Gang, occasionally letting out exaggerated laughter. I took my tray and chose the furthest corner to eat quietly. Peach, why are you sitting so far away? Chen Shui sat down next to me with a plate in her hand. It's quiet here, I replied briefly. Chen Shui lowered her voice. Lin Yao is being too obvious. She keeps sticking to the instructor. I picked up a piece of potato and put it in my mouth, without replying. In my past life, I also discussed Lin Yaoyao with Chen Shui in the same way. Later, these words somehow reached Lin Yaoyao's ears, which led to Chen Shui also being targeted. I think the instructor seems to be quite taken with her act, Chen Shui continued, her tone laced with disdain. It's best if we don't meddle in other people's business, I said softly. Eat quickly. We still have training this afternoon. The afternoon training was even more arduous. Standing at attention under the scorching sun made many students sway precariously. Zhao Gang, however, was exceptionally strict, and would loudly reprimand anyone who relaxed their guard even slightly. You Tao, relax your shoulders. He suddenly walked up to me and shouted. I quickly adjusted my posture, my heart pounding like a drum. In my past life, he rarely reprimanded me so directly. After all, I was the class monitor he appointed, but right now I'm just an ordinary trainee, and I even pretended to be sick to skip training this morning. You, what's your name? Zhao Gang stopped in front of Lin Yaoyao, his voice suddenly softening, reporting. Instructor, my name is Lin Yaoyao, she replied in a sweet voice, but her posture was not standard. Good posture, loud voice, keep it up. Zhao Gang nodded, a slight smile playing on his lips. I saw it all and sneered inwardly. The script from my past life is being replayed, only this time I am no longer the protagonist. The fate between Lin Yaoyao and Zhao Gang is developing according to the established trajectory. After the training, the students were all exhausted. Lin and Yaoyao, however, were full of energy, asking Zhao Gang all sorts of questions. I was quietly packing my things to leave when Zhao Gang called me back. Lin Yaoyao, you missed this morning, so you'll have to do an extra half hour of practice tonight. My heart skipped a beat, but I still nodded. Yes, instructor. Lin Yaoyao grinned smugly from the side. The class monitor can come with you, Peach. She deliberately emphasized the word class monitor. No need, I can manage on my own, I said calmly. At 7 p.m., I practiced standing at attention alone on the playground. The early autumn evening breeze was already chilly, and it gave my arms goosebumps. Hold on, 10 more minutes. Zhao Gang paced in front of me, his gaze stern. I gritted my teeth. My legs were already trembling slightly. Suddenly, Zhao Gang's phone rang. He glanced at it, frowned, and walked aside to answer the call. I told you I'm working, don't be unreasonable. So what? It's none of my business. Although he lowered his voice, the night was quiet, and I still heard snippets of his words. In my past life, I only learned after I died that Zhao Gang was married. Now, this information has become a trump card in my hand. Zhao Gang hung up the phone and walked back with a gloomy face. That's enough for today. Dismissed. Thank you, instructor. I gave a not-so-standard military salute and turned to leave back. In the dormitory, Lin Yaoyao was excitedly telling her roommates about her great achievements as class monitor. The instructor said I have great leadership skills and asked if I was interested in joining the army, she said excitedly. Seeing me enter, she immediately raised her voice. Oh, you're back from extra training. Did the instructor give you any special attention? I put down my backpack and said casually. The instructor got a phone call and told me to finish early, Lin Yaoyao asked curiously. What call? Who called? I don't know. It seemed to be a private matter. I deliberately gave a vague answer. Lin Yaoyao pouted, picked up her phone, and seemed ready to ask Zhao Gang for clarification, but a shadow of gloom flashed in Chen Shui's eyes. That reaction was funny, and I smiled as I turned around. In his previous life, the female student who ended up with Zhao Gang was Chen Shui. Does this mean Chen Shui already knows Zhao Gang is married, or is she simply jealous of anyone or anything related to Zhao Gang? Over the next few days of military training, Lin Yaoyao and Zhao Gang's relationship grew closer and closer. She would always find various reasons to stay behind alone to ask questions, and then boast about how special the instructors were to her when she returned. The instructor said I look great in my military uniform, Lin Yaoyao said, pacing around her dorm room one evening. He even said he'd treat me to dinner after military training. Really, just you? Chen Shui asked in surprise. Of course not. Lin Yaoyao glanced at me smugly. He said he could bring a few classmates along. Peach, do you want to go? In my past life, I made my second fatal mistake here. Not only did I refuse, but I also seriously told her that it was against the rules for the instructor to make private appointments with students, so this time, I chose a more tactful answer. Thank you for the invitation, but I might have something to do that day, I said with a smile. Have fun. Lin Yaoyao seemed satisfied with my answer and stopped bothering me. She turned to her other roommates and began planning what to wear that day, laughing and joking non-stop. However, when she returned, Lin Yaoyao's complexion was noticeably worse. Not only does she always slam the door shut, but she also accidentally knocks something over when she passes by her roommates' desks later. I heard from Chen Shui that on the day we ate together, the instructor served everyone food and thoughtfully escorted them back to their dormitories. Lin Yaoyao is so jealous. The instructor is just being a gentleman, Qin Shui said, but I didn't reply, not even nodding. The atmosphere in the dormitory remained strange for 3 whole days until one evening training session ended, and we were all tidying up and getting ready to go to bed when Lin Yaoyao returned to the dormitory with a beaming smile. He confessed his feelings to me, Lin Yaoyao said, holding roses and a gift. Her roommates congratulated her, and even Qin Shui joined in. I pretended to be asleep and made soft snoring noises. Lin Yaoyao was in high spirits and didn't care whether I offered my blessings or not, since Zhao Gang hadn't given me any special treatment. After showing off in the dormitory, she went to other dormitories, and only sneaked back when the dormitory supervisor discovered that we hadn't turned off the lights. The military training was drawing to a close, and Lin Yaoyao and Zhao Gang's relationship had become public. She openly wiped Zhao Gang's sweat and handed him water during training breaks, and Zhao Gang was exceptionally tolerant of her, rarely criticizing her in public. The day before the performance, evening training was temporarily changed into a military training cultural evening, supposedly to help everyone relax so they could be in top form for their performance the next day. A makeshift stage was set up in the center of the playground, and the surrounding lights illuminated the night as if it were daytime. Peach, look, Qin Shui tugged at my sleeve and pointed to the side of the stage. Lin Yaoyao was standing next to Zhao Gang. She was wearing a short skirt that did not comply with military training regulations, and her makeup was exquisite, making her particularly dazzling under the lights. It seems like they're going to put on a show together, I said calmly, though my heart was racing. This cultural gala didn't exist in my previous life, so it seems my rebirth has already triggered some butterfly effects. The host announced the next program. Please welcome Instructor Zhao Gang and student Lin Yaoyao from Class 5, Company 3 to sing A Little Happiness. The audience erupted in cheers and applause. Lin Yaoyao shyly took Zhao Gang's hand and walked onto the stage. Although Zhao Gang had a serious expression, he did not shake off her hand. As the music started, Lin Yaoyao began to sing in an overly sweet voice. I hear raindrops falling on the green grass. Halfway through the song, she suddenly turned to Zhao Gang, her eyes filled with affection. When Zhao Gang sang the next verse, he was clearly off-key, but the cheers from the students below the stage drowned it out. When the two sang the line, "It turns out you are the luck I want to keep the most," Lin Yaoyao deliberately moved closer to Zhao Gang, and their shoulders were almost touching. Kiss, kiss, several boys cheered from below, and the atmosphere became so enthusiastic that it almost got out of control. I observed all of this with a detached eye and noticed that although Zhao Gang appeared serious, his eyes were filled with affection. Lin Yaoyao, however, was completely absorbed in the attention of the crowd. When she sang the climax, she even pretended to accidentally touch Zhao Gang's hand. It's disgusting, blatant flirting, Qin Shui whispered in my ear. Instructor Zhao is usually so fierce to us, but he's so gentle with her. I didn't reply, but I knew in my heart that this kind of open flirting would only hasten their demise. The news that the instructor from the previous life was dating a student only spread after the military training ended. In this lifetime, Lin Yaoyao has been so flamboyant in front of all the new students. Can she really finish what she started? After the performance, Lin Yaoyao ran to us with a radiant smile. How was it? Did I coordinate well with the instructor? That was amazing. Several girls surrounded her to compliment her, while Qin Shui just pursed her lips and didn't say anything. Lin Yaoyao suddenly shoved her small bag into my hand. Taozi, hold this for me. The instructor needs to see me. Before I could respond, she ran towards Zhao Gang, who was talking to several leaders. She really treats you like a servant, Qin Shui said with dissatisfaction. I hefted the backpack. It's pretty light. There shouldn't be anything in it. Just then, a cell phone rang from inside the bag. Qin Shui and I exchanged glances. Is it her phone? Qin Shui nodded. Yes, but who would call? At this hour, the phone kept ringing, and people around us started looking over. I hesitated for a moment, then opened the clasp of the small bag, and sure enough, there was a cell phone inside flashing, but it wasn't Lin Yaoyao's phone with its fancy stickers and trendy gadgets. It was a black business phone. This isn't Yaoyao's phone. I took out my phone, but the ringtone stopped. I pretended not to see the caller's name flashing across the screen and stuffed my phone back into my bag. There will be missed calls anyway. A glint of inquiry flashed in Qin Shui's eyes, which I clearly caught. Carrying my bag, I waited another 2 minutes, then pretended to be anxious and stomped my foot. Why isn't she here yet? I need to go to the bathroom urgently. I'll hold this for you for now. You go and come back quickly. Qin Shui seemed a little impatient. After all, Lin Yaoyao had been gone long enough. Okay, make sure you take it safe. Otherwise she'll be yelling at us when she gets back. After giving her instructions, I pretended to head towards the restroom, but actually turned a corner and hid behind a tree to observe. Qinshui quickly took out the phone, skillfully swiped to unlock it, and after looking at it for a few seconds, her expression changed from curiosity to shock, and finally she revealed an almost evil smile. I knew this was going to be interesting. When I returned, Qinshui had calmed down and handed me her bag. They should be done with this. Just as Qinshui finished speaking, Lin Yaoyao walked over, her face filled with undisguised smugness. The instructor said I performed very well and he wants to treat me to dinner after tomorrow's performance. She took back her small bag, completely unaware of our unusual behavior. Back in the dorm, Qinshui mysteriously pulled me to the balcony. Taozi, do you know what I saw? I pretended to be confused. What? I saw. Qinshui was about to speak when there was a knock on the dorm door. Open the door, open the door for me. I forgot my keys. It was Lin Yaoyao's voice. I looked apologetic and opened the door for her. I saw her rush in and take out her makeup bag. The spotlights are so bright today. They smudged my makeup. I need to touch it up quickly before I go over. Lin Yaoyao carefully wiped away the smudged eyeliner in front of the mirror, while I looked at Qinshui. What were you going to say? Qinshui shook her head. It's nothing serious. We can talk about it tomorrow. I nodded, as if I really didn't know what was going to happen, and started washing up. That night, I lay in bed, listening to Lin Yaoyao's soft laughter in her sleep, imagining what might happen the next day, and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, the day of the performance, the sun was so scorching it could melt you. All the freshmen lined up on the playground, waiting to showcase the results of their 2 weeks of training. I stood in the line, my eyes glancing towards the school gate every now and then, waiting for the key figure to appear. I heard there's a woman making a scene at the school gate, saying she's looking for her husband. A classmate whispered, spreading the news he'd just heard, but the security guard said that outsiders are not allowed to come in. There have been enough parents today. If we let more people in, we won't even be able to eat in the cafeteria. My heart was racing, but I didn't show it on my face. At this time in his previous life, Zhao Gang's wife should have already discovered her husband's infidelity, but no one in his previous life guided her to cause trouble at the school. Is it a teacher or a student, or a drill instructor? Someone gossiped. Shoo, keep your voice down. Halfway through the performance, I saw Zhao Gang looking flustered and constantly checking his watch. Suddenly, he walked over to the head instructor and whispered something, seemingly wanting to leave early. Your class hasn't even started yet, and you're already leaving. The head instructor frowned, and Zhao Gang looked anxious, clearly having been rejected. Soon it was our class's turn to perform. We marched in step, did goose stepping, and changed formations. Our class completed the performance. Although there were some flaws, they did not detract from the overall excellence. With the beautiful Lin Yaoyao leading the way, our class received louder cheers than other classes. When we returned to the playground and lined up, I noticed that Qinshui, who was at the end of the line, was nowhere to be seen. Zhao Gang then left the group again, intending to find the head instructor. Just then, I deliberately said loudly, Instructor, don't go, we want to take a picture with you after the performance. Lin Yaoyao immediately chimed in, that's right, Instructor, don't rush off. Zhao Gang hesitated for a moment, but before he could speak, a commotion suddenly arose at the edge of the playground. A middle-aged woman in a red dress broke through the security guards blockade and rushed in, her high heels stomping an angry rhythm on the rubber track. Her gaze swept across the entire room like a radar, finally settling on Lin Yaoyao. It's you, isn't it, that shameless mistress? The woman rushed straight at Lin Yaoyao. Before Lin Yaoyao could react, a loud slap landed on her face. A collective gasp filled the room. What are you doing? Lin Yaoyao screamed, covering her face. Her exquisite makeup could not hide the rapidly swelling and reddening handprint. What am I doing? The woman sneered, pulling a stack of photos from her bag and throwing them at Lin Yaoyao. When you were seducing my husband, why didn't you ask yourself what you were doing? The photos scattered on the ground like snowflakes, all intimate photos of Lin Yaoyao and Zhao Gang. Some were of them kissing in a corner of the training field, some were of them feeding each other in the cafeteria, and the most explicit one was of Lin Yaoyao sitting on Zhao Gang's lap, their lips touching, leaving a silver thread. Lin Yaoyao's face turned from red to white to green, and suddenly she pounced on the woman like an enraged lioness. Who do you think you are? Zhao Gang stopped loving you a long time ago. The two instantly started fighting, with Lin Yaoyao grabbing the woman's hair and the woman grabbing Lin Yaoyao's military training uniform collar. Zhao Gang stood there, unable to move, as if struck by lightning. Zhao Gang, are you just going to stand by and watch? The woman roared. Between the tugs of the gun, taking advantage of the opportunity, Lin Yaoyao slapped her back. Old woman, Zhao Gang loves me. This slap completely enraged the woman. After all, she was more than 10 years older, and her strength and fighting experience far surpassed Lin Yaoyao's. With one hand she grabbed Lin Yaoyao's wrist and the other her collar. She gave her a sharp push and trip, sending Lin Yaoyao crashing to the ground. Lin Yaoyao's scream made everyone present shrink back. The woman looked down at her condescendingly. Little brat, you think you can mess with me? Zhao Gang can only lead the military training because of my brother's connections in the army. You think he'd even look at someone like you? These words exploded like a bomb. The students murmured amongst themselves, and the school leaders' faces turned ashen. Zhao Gang finally snapped out of it and rushed forward to grab his wife. Stop making a scene, let's talk back. The woman shook off his hand, her eyes filled with tears but also with fierce determination. Zhao Gang, I'm telling you, divorce, we'll go through the formalities tomorrow. After saying that, she turned to Lin Yaoyao, who had just gotten up, and you little bitch, just wait to be fired. Just then, Qinshua slowly walked over from the back of the crowd, her face displaying an exaggerated expression of surprise. Oh my god, what happened? I stood in the line, watching Qinshua's exaggerated performance, and couldn't help but laugh too. Myself, she timed it perfectly, appearing at the height of the conflict, both distancing herself from the situation and allowing herself to admire her masterpiece up close. Lin Yaoyao's hair was disheveled, her military uniform collar was torn, and there was blood at the corner of her mouth. She looked like she was about to pounce on him again. School leaders finally intervened and took Zhao Gang and his wife, along with Lin Yaoyao, away from the scene. The performance ended hastily, but everyone's attention had already left the performance. Oh my god, I didn't expect Instructor Zhao to be married. Lin Yaoyao is in big trouble now. She seduced a married soldier, she might get expelled. The students were talking about it, but I stood quietly in the line, feeling completely calm. The tragedy of my past life is finally no longer relevant to me. 3 days later, the disciplinary results were announced. Zhao Gang was recalled to the military for further processing. Lin Yaoyao received a major demerit, and was publicly criticized throughout the school. As for me, I was approved to be moved to a better 4-person room because of the legitimate reason of tense dormitory relations. I thought that was the end of it, but I underestimated Lin Yaoyao's desire for revenge. That evening, I was reading in the library when I suddenly heard a commotion outside. I ran out and saw that the lakeside was crowded with people. Someone fell into the water. It looks like 2 girls were fighting, and one pushed the other in. I was shocked and pushed my way to the front of the crowd. Qinshua was sitting on the shore, completely soaked and coughing, while Lin Yaoyao was being held down by several security guards and was still struggling frantically. She deserves it, that snitch, Lin Yaoyao screamed, her makeup ruined by tears, making her look hideous. If she hadn't meddled, how could I have? Lin Yaoyao, the department head shouted sternly, do you know that intentionally injuring someone is a legal offense? It turned out that Lin Yaoyao had somehow found out that Qinshua had contacted Zhao Gang's wife, and today she deliberately blocked Qinshua, and after a few words, she pushed her into the lake. If a teacher hadn't happened to be passing by, the consequences would have been unimaginable. After this incident, the school could no longer tolerate it. A week later, Lin Yaoyao was forced to drop out of school, and her departing figure exuded a sense of obsession. I didn't show myself, I just watched quietly as she was pushed away by the security guards. The murderer who killed me in my past life is finally reaping the consequences of his actions in this life. As for Qinshua, although she was not punished as a victim, she contracted severe pneumonia after falling into the water and had to take a half-semester leave of absence from school. To make matters worse, her act of tattling became known throughout the school, and no one dared to confide in her anymore. I occasionally see her in the cafeteria. She's always sitting alone in a corner, staring at her phone with a gloomy look in her eyes. As for Zhao Gang, I heard that after his divorce, he was discharged from the army for misconduct and later went to work as a security guard in a small county. Standing at the window of my new dormitory, the sunlight gently shone on my notice of changing my major. The life that was ruined by Lin Yaoyao in his previous life has finally returned to the right track in this life. The wind rustled the curtains, bringing the refreshing coolness of early autumn. I took a deep breath and exhaled all the grudges of the past. Starting today, it's a true new beginning.